Hello, this is Stargazer, and welcome to the Complete Metroid series timeline. This timeline includes all the Metroid games up to Metroid Prime 4, which at the time of this video has not been released. This timeline also covers the Metroid manga by Koji Tozawa, which is considered canon by series co-creator Koshio Sakamoto. With that, let's get on with the timeline. Leaders of various planets unite into what becomes known as the Galactic Federation. Under the guidance of the Galactic Federation, planets begin to associate with each other. Various leaps in transportation, technology, including interstellar spaceships, allow expansion. Space pirates begin attacking various civilizations to loot valuable goods and spread fear across the universe. To counter these attacks, the Galactic Federation creates the Galactic Federation Police and Army. On K2L, a Federation ship brings a supply of Aphrodite. Rodney Aaron organizes the transfer of supplies while his daughter Samus plays in the woods when one of her toys is stolen by a rabbit squirrel. Samus's friends tell her that a new ship has arrived on the planet with hooded creatures who introduce themselves as Chozo. Samus talks to one of the Chozo who tells Samus she can call him Old Bird. Samus tugs at Old Bird's robe, asking him to come with her. Old Bird accompanies Samus to the woods where she tells him about the creature that stole her toy and asks him if he can get it back for her. He explains that the Chozo lost the ability to fly long ago, and to get it back she must befriend the animal. She calls it Pionchi, and it comes down to her. The Chozo leave the planet after being refused the Aphrodite, which they need to awaken the Metroids on SR-388 before the X-Parasite spreads. A space pirate ship under the command of General Ridley is informed of the Aphrodite on K2L. The Galactic Federation ship that dropped off the Aphrodite is stopped from taking off due to atmospheric electromagnetic waves being emitted by the space pirates. Rodney Aaron, in charge of the operation, sounds the alarm and tells everyone to abandon ship. Ridley leads a massive raid where the space pirates begin killing everyone. Samus approaches Ridley, and Samus's mother, Virginia, pushes Samus out of the way of Ridley's attack at the cost of her life. Rodney detonates the ship with him on it to prevent the space pirates from getting the Aphrodite. Ridley is injured by the explosion of the ship but survives. The group of Chozo come back to K2L, suspecting to find no survivors, but find Samus and decide to bring her to Zebes. A small flying droid, the Eye of Mother Brain, watches Samus and says she would only survive a few days on the planet. Samus's body is infused with Chozo DNA to allow her to adapt to the planet. Years later, Samus is training her skills in her power suit, a gift from the Chozo. Samus notices a butterfly she finds beautiful, which Old Bird identifies as Iona Feria. Old Bird and the Chozo elders are informed by Mother Brain that at this rate the Metroid cultivation on SR-388 will not stop the X-Parasite. Samus brings the elders some badger clover flowers, exclaiming how beautiful they are. Chozo leader Grey Voice is shocked to see them as they come from another planet and are poisonous. They discover that the flowers were planted there from space pirates. Mother Brain reports that the Iona Feria's hostility is increasing. Grey Voice orders Samus to destroy them, but she refuses. The Iona Feria, now armed with weapons, fire at Grey Voice, but Samus rescues him. She destroys their weapons, and although the Iona Feria no longer pose a threat, Mother Brain orders her robots to incinerate them. Angered, Samus runs off. The following morning, Old Bird tells Samus that it is time for her to leave Zebes as the true protector of the universe. On the capital world Dayban, a Galactic Federation meeting discusses the slaughter of the Nashi people by the space pirates. The number of planets taken by space pirates has now surpassed 200. The Federation decides to promote recruitment. Chairman Vogel argues with Chairman Keaton that this could result in war. The chairman asks Old Bird his thoughts, and he agrees with Keaton. On the planet Jigrad, 3 Federation police officers, including Samus, spy on space pirates who have enslaved the population. When the space pirates attempt to kill a young girl deemed not labor-worthy, Samus protects the girl. Samus declares she is authorized to arrest them, but they do not surrender. Disobeying orders, Samus and the 2 other officers begin killing them. Samus nearly kills the last surviving space pirate, but is convinced by her fellow officers to arrest him and have him put on trial. Commanding Chief Hardy is reprimanding the 3 when the girl whom Samus saved returns to thank her. General Adam Malkovich of the Galactic Federation Army arrives and informs Hardy that their battleship has been destroyed, and that he wants Samus and the other officers to join him. The Galactic Federation declares that the victory on Jigrad proves the space pirates to not be worthy of their fear. Old Bird scoffs at the ignorance of the Federation and assembles a meeting of the Chozo elders to discuss the looming end of their race, and that they will not see galactic peace. An elder suggests the Federation be notified of the existence of the X-Parasite, but Old Bird claims they would be abused for their cloning and violent abilities. Old Bird then reveals a larval Metroid to combat the X. The space pirate mothership appears over Zebes, breaking the planet's defenses with a micro-black hole. The violent arrival causes the Metroid's containment vessel to rupture. The Galactic Federation begins their interrogation of the space pirate captured on Jigrad. When Samus tries to win over the pirate by unifying them as humanoids, the pirate claims the Federation is nothing more than a puppet controlled by the galaxy's most elite races. The interrogators realize he is a diversion from the space pirate assault on Zebes. Seeing her determination and sympathy to rescue the Chozo, General Malkovich grants Samus 48 hours before the Federation army goes to Zebes. Samus and her 2 other officers leave to save Zebes. Samus, Mach, and Kreets arrive on Zebes and find it in ruin, after examining a space pirate corpse who appears to have its life energy drained by a Metroid. Samus follows her pet Bianchi into a cave where they discover a hologram of Old Bird. He recounts that the space pirates attacked to gain the whole of Chozo knowledge, and that the Chozo surrendered Zebes. He reveals that the Metroid project has failed, and that they have enemies other than the space pirates. He concludes by reaching out to Samus as the sole child of the Chozo and the only hope for galactic peace. Old Bird mentions there are prisoners. Kreets declares the rescue of the prisoners to be their new mission. Samus urges them to stay away from the planet's dangers and goes forward alone. Before she can attack the pirates, Grey Voice, in league with the pirates, tells her not to fire. Mother Brain and Grey Voice inform Samus that they have established a satisfactory cooperative relationship with the space pirates. Mother Brain explains the space pirates now obey her. Mother Brain asks Samus to join them, and Samus refuses. Mother Brain recounts that the Chozo were the most technologically advanced civilization in the galaxy. However, the race began to decline, unable to reproduce, and they decided their mission was to unite the galaxy in peace. Mother Brain was created to be the link between the Chozo knowledge and the Galactic Federation. Mother Brain reveals her plan to replace the Chozo with the space pirates to restore order and peace to the galaxy. Mother Brain claims that Samus was created as a bioweapon for the Chozo. Samus, outraged, declares that Old Bird never saw her as a weapon and opens fire on Mother Brain fruitlessly. Ridley arrives and scoffs that Samus is the weapon Mother Brain told him about. Ridley tells Samus that to survive the explosion of the Aphrodite, he ate the flesh of the dead humans on K2L, taunting Samus that her mother may have been one of his meals. All this triggers Samus's PTSD, and she falls into shock. Samus is taken captive. Mach, Kreets, and Bianchi discover the Chozo prisoners and Samus. Mach remotely activates their ship to fire on the heat sources of the planet. Grey Voice orders the space pirates to find the ship. The Chozo guides Samus through her shock, and the Chozo prisoners with Mach, Kreets, and Samus fight to escape. Grey Voice attacks Mother Brain, donning ancient Chozo battle armor and a staff. Ridley murders Grey Voice for his betrayal. Samus's group of survivors flee Zebes in a Chozo's ship as General Adam Malkovich arrives, destroying the space pirate mothership, forcing the space pirates to leave Zebes. Samus enrolls in the Galactic Federation Army with Adam Malkovich as her commanding officer. While attempting to repair a vessel with 300 civilians on board, Adam is forced to sacrifice his younger brother to save the lives of everyone on board. Samus leaves the Galactic Federation Army and becomes a solitary bounty hunter. Years later, the space pirates rebuild their base on Zebes under Mother Brain's leadership. Chairman Keaton and Adam Malkovich discuss the space pirates' growing strength and the likelihood of war. At Chairman Keaton's inauguration, a space pirate bioweapon attempts an assassination, but Samus destroys the monster. Reports indicate that a spaceship is traveling with a capsule containing an unknown species from the deserted planet SR-388. The ship is attacked and seized by space pirates. Research about this species is incomplete. It is known that exposure to beta rays will cause it to multiply. The Chozo race called this species capable of latching onto other organisms and draining their life energy, Metroids. The Galactic Federation launches search teams to find the space pirates and discover their base is located deep within the planet Zebes. None of the forces are strong enough to infiltrate the planet. Operations for the space pirates to multiply the Metroids begin. The Galactic Federation decides the only option remaining is to infiltrate Zebes and destroy the leader of the space pirates, Mother Brain. The Federation selects Samus Aran to complete this mission. Samus lands on the surface of Zebes and begins exploring the planet. Samus takes down Mother Brain's generals, the Gargantuan Kraid and Ridley, before destroying Mother Brain and some of the Metroids on Zebes. Upon leaving the planet, space pirate vessels attack Samus' starship. Her ship crash lands on Zebes near the space pirate mothership. Samus's starship and power suit are destroyed. Samus discovers the nearby ruins of an ancient Chozo temple. Passing the ruins test, she gains a new Varia suit. Samus returns to the space pirate mothership where she encounters Mecha Ridley, a robot crafted by Ridley that has taken command of the ship. Upon defeating it, Samus successfully escapes the planet and the self-destructing mothership. Several space pirate research vessels escape Zebes, focusing on rebuilding their forces and taking revenge on the galaxy. Samus intercepts a signal from a space station orbiting Talon 4. She realizes it is one of the space pirate frigates that escaped Zebes. The ship, the Euphorion, was maintained by a space pirate science team engaged in genetic enhancement of creatures native to Talon 4. All space pirates aboard are either dead or in weak physical condition, and all escape pods have been launched. Samus discovers the cause of the distress signal, the Parasite Queen. Once defeated, it falls into the reactor core, causing a malfunction of the station's propulsion systems. During Samus's escape, her suit is damaged. She follows Ridley, genetically rebuilt, to Talon 4. After landing, Samus explores the Chozo ruins and finds that the water supply has become toxic, learning that the Chozo on the planet had been corrupted by a great poison brought by a meteor called Phazon. Samus discovers the source of the toxic waters, where she destroys a heavily mutated plant, purifying the spring. Unaware of her presence, Samus defeats the space pirates in their laboratories, discovering they have been conducting experiments with Phazon, and that they brought Metroids that survived the destruction of their base. Samus enters the Phazon mines, where she discovers the Elite Pirates, the Omega Pirate, and the Metroid Prime, a creature that arrived with the Phazon meteor. Metroid Prime is the guardian of the Phazon core, and if it survives, the Phazon can never be purged from the planet. In the lowest level of the mines, Samus battles Metroids mutated by Phazon. Samus defeats the Omega Pirate, which dissolves into Phazon, which is absorbed by her power suit, creating the Phazon suit, which is immune to Phazon and capable of harnessing it as a weapon. Samus discovers the ancient artifact temple, which contains a lock that prevents access to the impact crater the meteor made. The Chozo built this cipher to contain most of the Phazon within the crater. Samus unites the Chozo artifacts, but Meta Ridley destroys the cipher. Samus and Ridley fight, and the Chozo statues blast Ridley, causing him to fall to the crater below. The Chozo ghosts use their collective energy to create a pathway to the impact crater. Samus discovers heavily mutated Metroids in the crater. Samus finds Metroid Prime, which instantly recognizes Samus as a threat. Samus absorbs Phazon to damage the Metroid Prime. The dying Metroid Prime changes form and absorbs Samus's Phazon suit. Metroid Prime explodes, releasing all its Phazon energy into the Phazon core, sending the crater into critical overload. Samus escapes aboard her gunship. A small puddle of Phazon is left in the remains of the crater, where the hand of Dark Samus rises. Beyond the bounds of the Galactic Federation lies the Tetra Galaxy, wherein Limbix once ruled. Something in the Alembic cluster is telepathically communicating a message to bounty hunters Silex, Spire, Noxus, Candon, Weevil, and Trace. The secrets to the ultimate power resides in the Alembic cluster. The Galactic Federation asks Samus to discover the truth about the message, protect against a potential threat, and if possible, securing the power for the Federation. Samus arrives at the Celestial Archives, a space station that holds a wealth of information regarding the Alembics. Samus fights Candon for one of the artifacts that will allow her to reach one of the Guardian Chambers. Samus defeats a bioweapon named Cretafid, receiving an Octolyph, key to the ultimate power. Samus scans the Alembic cluster and explores 3 more worlds, Alinos, Vesper, and Arctaria. With all the Octolyphs collected, Samus returns to Alinos to activate the Alembic Cannon, which allows access to Abluete, a structure that holds the dormant and dangerous Goria. On Abluete, all the hunters are defeated by Goria. Samus defeats Goria with the Omega Cannon, and Abluete falls apart in a series of explosions. Samus and the hunters escape the destruction. Samus has a vision encountering Alembic beings that present a wave of gratitude. Samus is informed that contact with Galactic Federation Squad Bravo is lost, and she must assist them on Aether. Samus's gunship, damaged by lightning, crashes on the planet. Exploring the Federation's base of operations, Samus enters a portal to Dark Aether, where Dark Samus is absorbing Phazon. Dark Samus destroys a crystal that causes Samus to be affected by the poisonous atmosphere. Proceeding to the Federation's damaged ship, Samus learns that the troopers were murdered by Dark Splinters. Samus encounters a Luminoth named Umos, who tells her the dark beings she encountered are the Ing. Umos warns the Ing could threaten the galaxy if Aether falls. Samus agrees to assist. Umos sends Samus to the Agon Wastes plains, where, burned by the Leviathan impact, which brought the Ing and created Dark Aether. Samus infiltrates the Agon pirate base and faces Dark Samus. Samus finds a prominent degree of space pirate activity in the Torvus forest. Samus fights Dark Samus again, while restoring energy to the Sanctuary Forest. In the Ing Hive Temple, Samus defeats a rogue Luminoth unit named Quadraxis. With the Light of Aether returned, Umos bestows Samus the Light Suit. Samus enters the Sky Temple and faces Emperor Ing, a behemoth that rules the Ing Horde. The Dark Aether dimension begins to crumble, but before she can escape, Samus is forced to fight Dark Samus. Realizing Dark Samus is the reincarnation of Metroid Prime, Samus overloads it with Phazon. Samus escapes Dark Aether. Groups of Luminoth are revived from hibernation, and with her mission complete, Samus leaves the planet. Outside of Aether's atmosphere, a multitude of blue particles combine into Dark Samus. 4 bounty hunters, Samus, Gore, Rundus, and Gundrada, are hired to cure the Galactic Federation Aurora unit networks of a space pirate virus. The hunters are dispatched to Norion to fend off a space pirate assault. Samus encounters a Federation member of the Phazon Enhancement Devices squad, utilizing Phazon as a weapon. Samus battles Meta Ridley, and Rundus rescues her. A Phazon meteor called Leviathan is sighted heading to Norion. Just before activating the defense systems, the hunters are attacked by Dark Samus. With the other hunters unconscious, Samus, wounded, manages to activate the defenses and destroy the Leviathan seed. 1 month later, Samus wakes to learn that she and the other hunters were corrupted by Phazon from Dark Samus' attack. Federation scientists added a PED to Samus' suit, which allows her to control her internal Phazon. Samus learns that the 3 other hunters were sent on missions to planets where Leviathan seeds were observed. Having lost contact with the hunters, the Federation orders Samus to destroy the Leviathan seeds and seek the whereabouts of the other hunters. Samus discovers that her Phazon corruption causes her to overload with Phazon energy, and she must dispel it to prevent further corruption. Samus fights the Phazon corrupted Rundus, who is absorbed by Dark Samus. Samus overloads with Phazon and destroys the Leviathan seed. The Phazon within her proceeds to grow. Samus travels to Elysia. Samus defeats the corrupted Gore, and Dark Samus absorbs him. Samus cures Aurora Unit 217, which helps her build a Theronian bomb to destroy the Leviathan's shields. Inside the Leviathan, Samus fights Helios, corrupted commander of the Elysian robots. Helios explodes with the seed. After partnering with a Federation Marine to access the final afflicted world, the Marine secretly Gundrada attempts to kill Samus. Dark Samus absorbs the defeated Gundrada. Traveling to the space pirate homeworld, the planet where the final Leviathan is located, Samus disables its planetary shield, allowing the Federation to begin an attack on the space pirates. Samus leads a demolition troopers team to destroy the Leviathan, where Omega Ridley waits. After Ridley's defeat, Samus' corruption reaches critical. Aurora Unit 217 discovers the planet Phase, the Phazon origin point, traveling with the Federation via wormhole created by a Leviathan battleship stolen from the space pirates. Samus descends to the planet. Dark Samus fuses with stolen Aurora Unit 313, linked to Phase's core. Samus destroys the unit and Dark Samus, removing all Phazon from her body and causing the planet to self-destruct. The Federation fleet and Samus escape. Samus mourns the loss of her fellow hunters on Elysia. Samus leaves Elysia, followed by Sylux. The Galactic Federation commences Operation Golem, an effort to create mech suits so that the Federation soldiers will be better equipped to destroy the space pirates. The mech suits are used by a group of Federation soldiers who have undergone extensive training known as the Federation Force. The Force is sent on their first mission, an archaeological survey into the former Galactic Federation territory in the Bermuda system. On Talvania, the Force is attacked by space pirates. The Federation hires Samus Aran to investigate the space pirate presence. She discovers the pirates are building a massive battleship named Doomseye to attack Galactic Federation HQ. The Force abruptly lose contact with Samus. After destroying the devices cloaking the Doomseye, the Federation Force infiltrates the ship. The Force discovers Samus under the control of the space pirates. The Force reluctantly battles Samus and defeat Master Brain, the organism that powers the Doomseye's shields. The Federation destroy the ship, and the Force is rescued from the destruction by Samus. Sylux breaks into a secret Federation facility, where he locates a Metroid egg. Sylux causes the infant Metroid to hatch. Samus confronts Sylux and his army of Metroids, which result in her being transported to the alien planet Viros. Stranded, Samus discovers she has gained ancient psychic abilities. Samus fights for survival and tries to escape Viros while being hunted by Sylux. The Galactic Federation orders Samus to exterminate the Metroid threat on SR-388. Samus eliminates Metroids in various stages of their life cycle and the Queen Metroid. Samus discovers a Metroid egg that hatches in front of her. The Metroid believes Samus to be its mother, and Samus takes it with her. On the surface, Samus battles Proteus Ridley, who attempts to abduct the infant Metroid. Defeating Ridley, Samus and the baby flee SR-388. The X-Parasite begins repopulating SR-388, taking over the planet's organisms. Samus brings the infant Metroid to Ceres Space Colony, where scientists discover that the Metroid's powers could be harnessed to benefit the galaxy. Samus investigates a distress call from Ceres, where she finds the scientist dead. She encounters Ridley, who flees with the infant Metroid. Samus escapes the destruction of the station and follows Ridley to Zebes. Samus discovers the Space Pirates base has been rebuilt. Samus destroys those who guard Mother Brain's fortress, including Kraid, Phantoon, Dragon, and Ridley. Samus discovers newly bred Metroid larvae. After destroying them, Samus is drained of almost all her life energy by a giant baby Metroid that recognizes her as its mother. Samus battles Mother Brain, who attaches itself to a giant mechanical body. Mother Brain nearly kills Samus but is attacked by the giant baby Metroid. The baby attaches to Samus, feeding Mother Brain's stolen energy to her. Mother Brain recovers and destroys the baby. Samus avenges the baby, destroying Mother Brain. Samus escapes the explosion of Planet Zebes. Samus gives Galactic Federation High Command her mission report recounting the destruction of Mother Brain, Zebes, and the Metroids. Samus follows a baby's cry distress signal to the derelict bottle ship, where she encounters the Galactic Federation's 7th Platoon. She is greeted by Anthony Higgs, a friend from her days in the Federation Army, and is led to Commander Adam Malkovich. Adam orders Samus to find the exam center in Sector 1. Samus reaches the center, and the rest of the platoon arrives, minus a missing Lyle. Samus discovers the body of a space pirate wearing the Galactic Federation insignia, and that the bottle ship's purpose was conducting research on bioweapons, a practice that is illegal. They learn that Dr. Madeline Bergman oversees the projects. The platoon is attacked by a large lizard-like creature who viciously attacks Samus. Anthony forces the creature to flee. The group discovers Lyle's corpse, victim to the creature. Adam directs Samus to Sector 2 to search for survivors, where she discovers the corpse of platoon member Maurice and a young woman who tells Samus he was killed by a member of the platoon. The two are attacked by this mysterious person. Samus defeats him, but he escapes. Samus concludes there is a traitor within the platoon. In Sector 3, Samus catches up with Anthony, and the two track the lizard creature. They discover the creature is a Ridley clone, and Anthony is seemingly killed by him. Samus battles Ridley, but he escapes. Samus finds the young woman from earlier, who introduces herself as Madeline Bergman. She reveals the Federation was gathering deadly organisms to serve as special forces units modeled after the space pirates. The project became disastrous when a certain presence caused the life forms to become aggressive. Madeline also reveals the scientists were propagating Metroids, cloned from the remains of the baby on Samus's power suit, and that the AI named MB, modeled after Mother Brain, was created to control the Metroids. Samus, unable to contact Adam, heads to Sector 0 where the Metroids are. Adam finds Samus and informs her that the Metroids are invulnerable to cold, which was previously their only weakness. Adam orders Samus to locate any survivors, divert the bottle ship off an intercept course with the Galactic Federation HQ, and defeat Ridley before he detaches Sector 0 and sacrifices himself to destroy the invulnerable Metroids. Samus finds the body of platoon member James, the remains of Ridley, and a survivor who traps Samus with a Queen Metroid. Samus obliterates the Queen. Samus chases the survivor, who reveals herself to be the real Madeline Bergman, and that the younger woman is MB in android form. When MB became self-aware, began disagreeing with the scientists, and felt betrayed by Madeline, she unleashed the monsters. Samus and Madeline are confronted by MB, who gets frozen by a group of invading Federation Marines. She thaws and summons creatures to attack. In desperation, Madeline freezes MB, who is killed by the Marines. Anthony reveals himself alive to Samus, and the two take Madeline into custody. Before the Galactic Federation destroys the bottle ship, Samus recovers Adam's helmet and escapes. Samus, acting as bodyguard for the biologic research team on SR-388, is attacked by the X-Parasite. Samus loses consciousness and crashes her gunship. A medical crew surgically remove portions of Samus's infected power suit and create an anti-X vaccine from Metroid DNA to save Samus's life. Samus can now absorb the X. Samus is sent to investigate an explosion in the Biologic Space Laboratories research station, where specimens from SR-388 and her infected power suit are. Samus speaks with her new starship's computer, whom she nicknames Adam, and learns the X used the DNA of its prey to create perfect copies. Samus discovers the explosion was caused by her infected power suit, now a copy of Samus dubbed the SA-X. The SA-X destroys the capsules holding the X specimens that now overrun the station. The X identifies Samus as a threat and attempt to kill her. Samus discovers dozens of Metroids in the station's restricted laboratory. The SA-X attempts to destroy the Metroids, but they break free, damaging the facility. The lab is jettisoned from the station and explodes. Samus is informed by her computer that the Federation was working on a secret Metroid breeding program and that the SA-X has been asexually reproducing. After inflicting enough damage to the station, Samus's computer instructs her to leave the rest of the investigation to the Federation, who have taken interest in the X and SA-X. Samus believes the Federation troops will be overtaken by the X and will spread throughout the galaxy. Samus decides to activate the station's self-destruct mechanism, and her computer confines and orders her to wait until the Federation arrives. Samus pleads, calling the computer Adam. Puzzled by the name, Samus informs it that Adam was her former commanding officer who died saving her life. Moved by this revelation, the computer agrees with Samus and suggests she include SR-388 in the explosion of the station. Samus realizes her ship's computer is Adam's personality that was uploaded prior to his death. Before she can escape the station, Samus is attacked by an Omega Metroid, and the SA-X damages the Metroid before being destroyed. Samus absorbs the Core X and kills the Omega Metroid. The BSL station crashes into SR-388, completely destroying the station and planet. The Galactic Federation receives footage of the X-Parasite from an unknown sender on planet ZDR. The Federation dispatches 7 EMI units to investigate but lose contact with them. As the only being with immunity against the X, Samus is hired to investigate. Samus encounters a hostile Chozo who overpowers Samus, causing an unknown power within her to awaken. Samus regains consciousness without access to the surface of ZDR. Samus hunts down the rogue EMI. While exploring a region with Chozo ruins, Samus encounters a Chozo named Quiet Robe. He reveals the Chozo that attacked her is Raven Beak, leader of the Makin warrior tribe who massacred the scientist Toha tribe so he could control the Metroids. The sole survivor, Quiet Robe, was forced to work for Raven Beak. The Makin planned to return to SR-388, but one of Raven Beak's battalion was an X that infected the other soldiers. By the time the infection was contained, Samus had wiped out the Metroids. Quiet Robe explains Raven Beak hacked the EMI to extract Samus's Metroid DNA. Quiet Robe is killed by a robot Chozo soldier which Samus destroys. Raven Beak releases the X, infecting all life on ZDR. Samus awakens her latent powers when she destroys the final EMI. Adam reveals to Samus that her Chozo DNA was donated by a Toha and Makin, with her Toha genes slowing her Metroid transformation and her Makin genes responsible for her physical prowess. He suggests Raven Beak's attack awakened her Metroid genes. Since the Metroids identify the Makin as enemies, Adam warns Samus she is a threat to the galaxy, and to submit. Samus sees through this deception, and reveals Raven Beak has been impersonating Adam. Raven Beak tells Samus he is her Makin donor, making her his daughter. During their battle, Raven Beak reveals he intends to create an army of Samus clones. Nearly dead, Samus's suit metamorphosizes into a Metroid-like armor. Samus destroys Raven Beak and the X that infect him. Unable to flee the planet without draining her ship's power, the X-infected Quiet Robe allows Samus to absorb his Toha genes, allowing her to stabilize and escape. Planet ZDR explodes, putting end to the X-Parasites, securing galactic peace.